We live in a world where the quiet hum of true control is often drowned out by the performative roar of perceived mastery. Think about it. Why do we so often find ourselves taking a decision that feels like a compromise, perhaps a necessary one, and then meticulously constructing a narrative around it, framing it not as a sacrifice, but as a stroke of strategic genius? It's a subtle art, this reframing, and it plays a far larger role in our lives than we might admit. But what deeper psychological currents are at play when we elevate sacrifice to strategy? The trap lies not in the act of sacrifice itself, which can be immensely powerful and productive, but in the compulsion to package it as something else entirely. It's the human ego always seeking to optimize its perceived standing, even if it means bending reality just a little. We encounter a limitation, be it financial, social, or personal, and instead of simply acknowledging it, we elevate our response into a grand, deliberate plan. This isn't just about avoiding embarrassment. It's about a deep-seated psychological need for agency, for feeling like the author of our own story, even when external forces are heavily influencing the plot. We fail to see this because our psychology often prioritizes immediate self-preservation and social validation over the stark, long-term math of our choices. Consider the classic contrast, the individual who genuinely chooses a modest life to accelerate their financial independence, versus the one who loudly proclaims their strategic minimalism, while secretly longing for the very luxuries they ostentatiously forego. Research in social psychology consistently points to the human tendency for self-presentation bias. We manage impressions. We want to be seen as smart, controlled, and intentional. The person quietly building their wealth, making conscious choices that align with their long-term vision, often doesn't feel the need to justify or intellectualize every decision. Their control is intrinsic. But for others, the narrative is the control. They might be in debt, struggling, or simply afraid of taking risks, yet they'll articulate their current constrained circumstances as a strategic consolidation or a deliberate step back to leap further. This isn't just an innocent white lie. It creates a mental scaffolding that can prevent honest self-assessment and genuine growth. Let's break down how this manifests in our everyday behavior. Take the choice to decline a social invitation. The behavior is simple, saying no. The hidden cost, for many, is the feeling of missing out, or the fear of being seen as antisocial or unadventurous. So, instead of a simple, "I can't make it," or "am focusing on saving money right now," we might reframe it, "am strategically allocating my social energy," or "am in a deep work phase, optimizing my productivity." The long-term math here is that while genuine focus and saving are beneficial, the energy spent on crafting these elaborate explanations could be better used on the actual focus or saving, the unsexy alternative. Being honest, admitting you're tired or financially stretched, or simply prioritizing alone time, it's far less glamorous, but it builds authenticity and reduces the mental burden of maintaining a facade. Or consider a more significant life choice, like career path. Many individuals find themselves in roles that are less than ideal, perhaps even unfulfilling. The behavior is staying in that role. The hidden cost is often a stifled passion, a gnawing sense of dissatisfaction, or simply lost time. Yet the reframe often sounds like this: "I'm gaining critical experience for my long-term career pivot," or "this is a strategic lateral move to understand the whole ecosystem before I make my big play." While genuine strategic moves exist, this specific reframe often serves to rationalize inertia or fear of change. The long-term math can be grim. Years can pass in a strategic holding pattern that never truly leads to the intended pivot, because the psychological comfort of the reframe prevents the actual, difficult work of making that change. The unsexy alternative, admitting the job isn't working out, exploring new options openly, or facing the fear of the unknown without a protective blanket of manufactured strategy. This vulnerability, paradoxically, is often the first step toward genuine control. This compulsion to transform sacrifice into strategy is a fascinating window into our psyche, revealing a tension between our aspirational selves and our current realities. It's an attempt to exert control over a narrative, to shape how others, and crucially, how we ourselves perceive our journey. But true wealth, as many have discovered, isn't about the outward display of control or the cleverness of one's rationalizations. It's about optionality, freedom, and an internal sense of command over one's life. It isn't found in status or appearance, but in the quiet confidence that comes from aligning one's actions with one's genuine values and long-term goals without needing to dress them up for an audience. So, for a genuine step towards effortless control, take a moment, perhaps today or tomorrow, to reflect on one strategic choice you've made recently. Ask yourself, if no one else would ever know about this choice, and if there were no judgment attached to it, would I still articulate it as a strategy, or would I simply call it what it is? The answer might unveil a path to deeper self-awareness and ultimately more authentic control over your life.